Shalom, my brothers and sisters. Shalom. Shalom. This is Words and Questions to Yashar'al, Nation of Believers. Words and Questions to Yashar'al, Nation of Believers. This is the final installment of the series of Words and Questions to Yashar'al. This is the final installment. My brothers and sisters, my family, my name is Symmanayah, and if you're tuning in for the first time, you will come to know that Yashar'al, Nation of Believers, of whom I am referencing, consists of all those who seek to do the will of Almighty Yahuah and accept Yahusha as Mashiach, as our Messiah. This consists of Hebrew and Goyim, or Hebrew and other nations. It consists of all nations that seek to worship and obey Almighty Yahuah, made one by Yahusha our Mashiach. It consists of the restored nation of Hebrews, who seek to worship and obey the Most High. All those who seek to worship and obey my Almighty Father, the Almighty Creator. You are my brothers, my sisters you are, my family you are. These messages are addressed to you. With that said, in this final installment of Words and Questions to Yashar'al, I want to address extinction level events. You heard it right, my brothers and sisters. Extinction level events. Transformation of earthen vessels. And the question for this final installment of Words and Questions to Yashar'al: who is able to discern the future of man? There was destruction during the days of Noah. The flood ended many lives. There was destruction during the days of Lot. Sodom and Gomorrah and its inhabitants were annihilated. Scriptures inform us that something similar will occur during end times. End times will usher in the final days before all is presented before the throne of the Most High Father, a day that we have come to know as Judgment Day. How many times must man tempt the Most High Father? How many times have there been intercessory prayer on behalf of Yashar'al and the inhabitants of the earth? How many of us are aware that there was a time when the Almighty Father was considering wiping us out long before today? Let's take a look. Deuteronomy 9:24-26, and it reads, "You have been rebellious against Yahuah from the day that I knew you. So I fell down before Yahuah the 40 days and 40 nights, for I fell down because," listen here, "because Yahuah had said he will destroy you." Moving on to 26, "And I prayed to Yahuah and said, O Master Yahuah, do not destroy your people and your inheritance, whom you have redeemed in your greatness, whom you have brought out of Mitzrayim with a strong hand." You see, intercessory prayer deferred an action that would have wiped us out. Was the Almighty Father Yahuah getting ready to destroy Yashar'al during these times? Do you care? Could we find ourselves in similar circumstances because of our wickedness, because of the rampant evil that is increasing across the planet? Consider the structure of man. Genesis 2:7 says, "And Yahuah Elohim formed man out of the dust from the ground and breathed into his nostrils breath of life, and man became a living being." This describes where he formed us out of the ground, thus the earthen vessel. He breathed into our nostrils and we received life. Thus we were given a spirit. Pray that you're able to discern and understand the structure of man. 2 Corinthians 6:16 reads, "And what union hath the dwelling place of Elohim with idols? For you are a dwelling place of the living Elohim, as Elohim has said, I shall dwell in them and walk among them, and I shall be their Elohim, and they shall be my people." 1 Corinthians 5:5 reads, deliver such a one to Satan for the destruction of the flesh, in order that his spirit may be saved in the day of the Master Yahusha. Destruction of the flesh, again, this earthen vessel. This is referring to those who are rebellious, those who kick against righteousness, who have a heart to worship and obey, but for some reason they succumb to misguided, misleaded influences. But deep in their heart, the desire, deep in their mind, they have chosen to worship and obey. It defines those who demonstrate widely how much the flesh lusts and war against the spirit. Pray, my brothers and sisters, so that you're able to understand these words. 1 Peter 1:21, because all flesh is as grass, and all the esteem of man as the flower of grass. The grass withers and its flower falls away. Again, extinction level events are coming. These earthen vessels as we know it will be extinguished. They will be transformed. Whatever word you choose to embrace, the bottom line, they will cease to exist as we know them. And it is our spirit that will be placed and transformed. Once we see the Mashiach, we will know, for we shall be as he is. Galatians 5:17 reads, for the flesh lusts against the spirit against the flesh, and these are opposed to each other, so that you do not do what you desire to do. Matthew 12:25 reads, and Yahusha knew their thoughts and said to them, every reign divided against itself is laid waste, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. 1 Corinthians 15:50 reads, and this I say, brothers, that flesh and blood, he's talking about earthen vessel, is unable to inherit the reign of Elohim, neither does corruption inherit incorruption. It is referring to these earthen vessels, my brothers and sisters. Hebrews 9:27. And not only is it referring to the earthen vessels, letting you know that they won't inherit the kingdom, it's also referring to the rebellious spirit, those who choose not to worship and obey the Almighty Father. Moving right along, those who are spiritually dead. Moving right along, Hebrews 9:27. And as it awaits men to die once, and after this, the judgment. This death is the existence that will cease regarding these earthen vessels. Hebrews 11:5 say, by belief Hanok, or some of you might know as Enoch, was translated so as not to see death, and was not found because Elohim had translated him. For before his translation he obtained witness that he pleased Elohim. Translated, my brothers. Therefore, the body in which Enoch, the earthen vessel which Enoch possessed, was translated. It ceased to exist. Some may say, no, he's getting that wrong. But remember, flesh and blood cannot enter into the reign of Elohim. Beloved ones, now we are children of Elohim. I'm reading 1 John 3:2 and 3:3. Beloved ones, now we are children of Elohim. It has not yet been revealed what we shall be, but we know that when he is revealed, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. And everyone having this expectation in him cleanses himself as he is cleaned. Matthew 16:25 reads, for whoever wishes to save his life shall lose it, and whosoever loses his life for my sake shall find it. Again, let us know the place of these earthen vessels. Mark 8:35 reads the same, similar. For whoever desires to save his life shall lose it, but whoever loses his life for the sake of me and the good news, he shall save it. Luke 9:24, similar. For whoever wishes to save his life shall lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake shall save it. My brothers and sisters, I presented many verses. Pray about them, and if necessary, rewind and revisit what I have presented. Yes, these are verses, and one can read the entire chapter or book if you choose. This is your choice, and it is encouraged. You can spend time, exhaust time, trying to discover the original Hebrew or some form of Hebrew. That is also your choice. How much time do we really have to prepare and be developed for the many challenges that are over the horizon. Let us learn what is meant by the Spirit makes alive, that the letter kills, and be mindful of what you are pursuing. A living spirit, the living set-apart spirit sent in Yahusha's name, or chasing to define and work out and figure out and academically, cognitively comprehend the letters in the different languages and prove what term means what. Yes, it is your choice. It is our choice. And our choice and decisions come with fruit. What type of fruit will we yield? How much time do we really think we have? And have we chosen to seek wisdom so that we may manage these days wisely? When humbling events come and turmoil reach our doorsteps, when these turmoils, when these challenging situations come before our face, will we have managed our time wisely to prepare for such events? Let me share several more verses. Revelation 6:8 said, I looked and saw a pale horse, and he who sat on it had the name Death. And the grave followed with him, and authority was given to them over a fourth of the earth, to kill with the sword, with hunger, with death, and by the beasts of the earth. Are these not events that's leading to depopulation? Are these not events that's truly leading to the extinction of these earthen vessels? Pray and watch. Revelation 9:15 says, and the four messengers, those having been prepared for the hour and day and month and year, were released to kill a third of mankind. Are these extinction levels approaching us? Will it be through famine, pestilence, disease? Will it be through wars and fighting? Will it be through nuclear bomb? Will it be through cataclysmic events such as earthquakes, floods? Will it be through comets hitting the earth? We may not know all the details, my brothers and sisters, but one thing is stated in Scripture is that a third of mankind will be killed. And I saw the dead, this is Revelation 20, verse 12 to 15. And I saw the dead, small and great, standing before the throne, and books were opened. When it speaks of the dead, are we talking here where their earthen vessels had ceased to function? Let me read the verse. And I saw the dead, small and great, standing before the thrones, and books were opened. And another book was opened, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged from what was written in the books according to their works. And the sea gave up the dead who were in it, and death and the grave gave up the dead who were in them. And they were judged, each one according to his works. And the death and the grave were thrown into the lake of fire. This is the second death. And if anyone was not found written in the book of life, he was thrown into the lake of fire. My brothers and sisters, does this sound like Judgment Day is a time when the earthen vessels are transformed, extinguished? Does it describe the extinction of earthen vessels, the extinction of man as we know it, as far as the earthen vessel is concerned? Pray, my brothers and sisters, this is all real. Whether we care to face the truth or not, it will not cause these events to stop, tarry, retreat, or go away. 1 Thessalonians 4:16 through 18 reads, because the Master himself shall come down from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the chief messenger, and with the trumpet of Elohim, and the dead in Messiah shall rise first. Then we, the living who are left over, shall be caught away together with them in the clouds to meet the Master in the air. So we shall always be with the Master. So then, encourage one another with these words. Caught up. Revelation 11:12 say, and they heard a loud voice from the heavens saying to them, come up here. And they went up into heaven in a cloud, and their enemies saw them. 11:12, Revelation 11:12 is speaking when the two witnesses were awakened from the death as a result of being killed. After 3.5 days, they were called up to heaven. Could this call up to heaven mark the time when when the dead were risen? Could this come up here represents not only the two witnesses, but all that is left that is righteous. Pray and watch. Revelation 21:1 says, "And I saw a renewed heaven and a renewed earth, for the former heaven and the former earth have passed away, and the sea is no more." Were we caught up and translated, and during this time a renewed earth and a renewed heaven was created? Pray and seek discernment on that question for that answer. Matthew 22:29 and 30 reads, "And Yahuah answered and said to him, You go astray, not knowing the scriptures nor the power of Elohim. For in the resurrection they do not marry, nor are they given in marriage, but are messengers of Elohim in heaven." Transformation, my brothers and sisters. These earthen vessels, as we know it, will cease to exist. Extinction level events are emerging. Will there be a time for transformation? Will we be caught up to make room for a renewed earth? Have I presented scriptures that may indicate newness and transformations? I am compelled to believe with all my mind, body, and soul that the earthen vessel we possess now will be destroyed and we will put on incorruptible forms. Remember, no house divided against itself can stand. Remember also, flesh and blood cannot inherit the reign of the Almighty Yahuah. I have presented scriptures that mention destruction beyond our imagination. Scriptures that talk about things that are over the horizon. I have presented where scriptures indicate widespread death through famine, drought, pestilence, disease, wars, fighting, fire, and more. These are extinction level events, my brothers. Believe what you wish, but when you have massive death that leads up to Judgment Day and the end of man as we know it, it is the beginning of extinction for these earthen vessels. Who is able to argue these facts righteously? Who is able to come to grips regarding the purpose of these earthen vessels? Can we accept that in the Most High Yahuwah's plan that he has chosen a process that will utterly destroy these earthen vessels? If you are able to receive this, then you should also be encouraged to know those who seek to worship and obey the Almighty Father Yahuah and accept Yahusha as Mashiach, as Messiah, will be transformed into his likeness, experience life immeasurably. Death, disease, wickedness, and evil will no longer have its place among righteous. The Almighty Father, Yahuah, will conclude, and we will be set apart permanently from wickedness and evil, from sickness and in death. I ask you these questions again. Are we in the last days? Have we entered into end times? How serious do you think these matters are? If your answer is yes, prepare for extinction level events. Prepare for massive death as described in Revelation. Please do not be as those during the days of old who rejected real messages because they did not like what was being presented. Do not be like those who are unbelievers or rebellious, who rejected the messengers of the Most High, who rejected the warnings, who cast out those who spoke as led by the Spirit of the Most High. While many are burying their heads in the sands, per se, disregarding the living words of the Spirit of Yahusha, events are still unraveling as we live moment by moment. The Most High Father have not given us the spirit of fear, but we are to fear him. Yes, fear him. There is a difference. Pray to discern, because the fear of Almighty Yahuah is the beginning of knowledge. The end of the earth as we know it approaches. The end of these earthen vessels we know as bodies is near. Who is able to accept these extinction level events? Who will still hold on and believe the scriptures to be true? Who is still committed to worshiping and obeying a living Almighty Father Yahuah, and accept and acknowledge and yield to his set-apart spirit sent in Yahusha's name? It will be wise to discern and understand, to seek discernment and understanding regarding these end times. Many who are of age have looked back and asked themselves, where have all the time gone? we realize time flies. Most young people, at least from my perspective, looking forward, think a year, 5 years, 10 years or more is a long time. Be alert, my brothers and sisters. The day of Yahusha's return will come on us sooner than most of us realize. The signs of the times were given for a reason. Messengers and servants that are obedient to the living instructions and guidance are delivering what's instructed by the Spirit of Yahusha, including the warnings, including what is necessary for the perfecting of the body and the gathering of Yashar'al, and the reinforcing and strengthening of those who will stay in place and be martyrs. Yes, my brothers and sisters, the perfecting of the body of believers is occurring. Yashar'al will be gathered from the four corners of the earth and demonstrate a people who belongs to Yahuah before that great day of judgment. Yashar'al will be gathered to a safe place, but it will not be as many as who we think and expect it to be. Don't get caught up with the letter and succumb to unbelief. Don't get caught up into believing that all Yashar'al will be gathered before the return of the Mashiach. No, not all. You might see a scripture or two and want to grab it and say, well, let's say all here. Understand all the scriptures in whole and know it's all who are obedient to his guidance to participate in that fulfillment. Yes, my brothers and sisters, there will be martyrs who will not be gathered during this time. Those who give in and succumb to unbelief or choose to rebel against the leaders sent by the Spirit of Yahusha, they will have a different reward and experience. There will be diverse experiences, weeping and rejoicing. What will be your position, O Yashar'al? Yes, there will be a final gathering once all has been fulfilled. In this final gathering, all believers, including those who died or went to sleep, looking forward to that great day, all and every believer who seek to worship and obey the Almighty Father will be gathered at Judgment Day. But I am compelled to believe a gathering will come where the world will witness Yashar'al, where the world will witness things that will prove the righteousness of the Most High Father. I will end saying here, my brothers and sisters, I will end and suggest that you hear what the Spirit is saying to us individually and to us collectively as an assembly. Extinction level events have begun, and what is perceived to be a depopulation agenda is far from the truth. It is the end of all wickedness and evil as we know it. It is the judgment day that approaches with fierceness. Search the scriptures. Establish a living relationship with the Spirit of Yahusha. Pray and watch. Realities are just that. Things that are real. Things that are true. Things that will occur. Things that will be fulfilled. Be encouraged, my brothers and sisters. My family, many of us are in a situation or position where we are able to witness the fulfillment of Scripture. This is a privilege. We should be honored that the Most High have allowed us to be alive in a time to watch His promises unfold before our very eyes. Be encouraged, my brothers and sisters. This is the plan of the Most High Father Yahuah, and proof is only but a short time away. Until next time, my brothers and sisters, my family, choose how you will manage the remaining days, for no one knows all who will participate in specific scripture fulfillment. We've yet to discover what we are called in or chosen to do. But believe me, my brothers, the promises of the Most High will be honored. Transformation of earthen vessels is coming. Man's future will be totally different. Extinction level events will cease, and the promise of our Almighty Father Yahuah will be kept. Yahusha will be married to his bride. Have you established a ready mind, body, and soul as to whom you will worship and obey? Choose wisely, my brothers. This has been the final episode of Words and Questions to Yashar'al. And I end with saying extinction level events. Transformation of earthen vessels. Who is able to discern the future of man? It's coming, and it will not tarry nor retreat. Until next time, my brothers and sisters, my family, I would urge you strongly to pray on this message, these words. Consider earnestly, strongly seeking discernment and understanding, and pass these words on to your loved ones, to brothers and sisters, to family. You who have heard this message have been endowed with the responsibility to manage these words among those who come in contact with you, brothers and sisters whom you meet and talk. Pray for guidance, pray for instructions, pray on when to speak and when to be silent, pray on when to be still and be ready to move when the time comes. Until next time, my brothers and sisters, until next time, Shalom, Shalom, Shalom.